Guys, Dr. Cordie Williams, hashtag Megaphone Marine. We're not doing the other hashtag because otherwise the communists that be will probably CENSORSHIPS. But welcome to the show. This is going to be about a 3 to 5 minute video because I have a different kind of broadcasting venue or what have you where we can reach more folks. And generally those folks like to see about 3 to 5 minutes. But I got some stuff on my heart today that I want to get out there. There's a lot of you that heard something 2 or 3 days ago that Larry Elder said, and I haven't endorsed anybody, and I won't endorse anybody for a bunch of reasons. But when you guys want to find out why, you can come do a tasty with me. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm not endorsing anybody for governor of this great state. But what I will say is this. There are so many different political moves that people have to make. And in the interesting kind of looking at the political, I guess, arena, first of all, I've been there 2 seconds and I can tell you that it is the most slimy, nasty, filthy, backstabbing, do whatever you can to get over you type of, I guess, industry, niche, whatever you want to call it, that there possibly is. That being said, you have to stand for your principles and convictions, and you also have to play the game and not try to win at all costs, but be very strategic in the way you navigate that sick, twisted, disgusting world. Because it really is, you have to really stay centered on Jesus, not to lose your soul, because that's how corrupt it is. They say absolute power corrupts absolutely. I would just say that power in general corrupts, even if you don't have absolute power. So at any rate, a lot of you heard what Larry Elder said about the election. I think it was my good buddy Boris Epstein interviewing him. It sure sounded like Boris Epstein, which he's on Sebastian Gorka's show, or co-host Sebastian Gorka's show. And it very well could have been him. We've had him on Unfettered Patriot multiple times. But I mentioned that to say that I know the guy, and I know Boris. And so at any rate, he asked Larry Elder. Larry Elder said, of course, there was no FRAUD. I'm not saying that I agree with that, but I just also want you guys to see the political landscape of California. If you're going to win for Senate or a higher office, you have to probably capture between 5 to 11% of the vote. I know for Senate, to even have a chance, and I'm talking the 5 to 11% of Biden or Bernie supporters, to even have a chance to be competitive. Okay? So what do we know that the CENSORSHIP, right, the social wonderful people, and whatever Silicon Valley have done, like the Zucks, and that guy that looks like a homeless person that urinated all over himself, Jack Dorsey. What do we know that those guys have done a great job of? Suppressing and creating one narrative, okay? So there's a certain narrative about the ELECTION and what happened to 45 or what didn't happen to 45. I know what happened. You know what happened. We know the truth, okay? The symposium is exposing that truth. Okay, if you really, really look at the facts and don't listen to the bullshit commentary afterwards. So why do I say that? Because many of you are up in arms about what he said. Not saying I agree with it, but talking to insiders, meaning people smarter than me that literally have taken a bullet for their country, would launch a bullet for their country, and aren't swamp creatures. They think it was completely a strategic political move. As my buddy Scott McKay says, do I think it's a milquetoast, you-know-what move? Maybe. But you know what? If you don't capture that 5 to 11% of Biden, Bernie voters, the conversation doesn't even matter. You can be the most, I always say this, you can be the most right person and still lose. Okay? For example, there are people that come into my office chiropractically, they're unhappy. We tell them up front, hey, this is a prepaid care plan. You're paying for it. If you quit the care plan, you're going to have to pay full price for each visit. So in $65, instead of $65, it's going to be $250 per visit. Well, doc, I owe money. Well, doc, I paid $3,000 and I'm only getting back $600 or whatever, right? They break the plan. And then you tell them too bad, so sad. Okay. Well, then when you do that, what do? They put in a board complaint, they file a bad Yelp review, whatever. And what does that do? Destroys you. So after 3 years of kind of taking that, what did I figure out? Even though I'm right, it doesn't matter. I'll still lose. So what do I do now? I just write a check. I don't even rarely discuss it. I make the person happy no matter what, because in the end, I lose if I don't. Okay. And I just want to encourage you to think outside the box on strategy and something in economics we call the law of diminishing marginal returns and human behavior. And what people kind of go off of. We're so conditioned. We hear one narrative and we run with it, and that's what we stick on. And so I just want you to start to up your truth meter and your common sense meter, because there's a lot of mistruth out there, and you almost really need to trust the character of a person instead of what network supported it or this or that. I mean, I'm going to have a guy on in the next week or two that's going to tell us how valid he thinks the results are and the evidence from the symposium. Okay. And I'm not going to say who it is yet until he fully commits to it, but he's a guy you've seen all over TV. Okay. And he's a good friend of mine. All right. But I think he's really going to shed some light on this spin that even conservative influencers, that's what's interesting. We have this splice or this split going on within the movement. And then within that movement, there's these high level influencers that make millions of dollars. They're selling hundreds of millions of dollars of books. You never see them at a rally. You never see them taking their money, putting it in a pack, and they're all talk. You know what they're doing? They're capitalizing financially off this time. Okay. So just really look at your resources, meaning look at the source of who's giving you information, look at what they've done, and look at their character. That's all I'm going to say today. I hope you were blessed by this. Have an epic weekend in Texas. Maria, I will see you in San Antonio in November, and I'll see you in Dallas in December, and I think I'm going to buy a new Resistol for that occasion. So God bless you guys. Have an amazing weekend, and Semper Fi.